If I was a student and I needed to make $1,000 today, I would do one of these 7 skills. So, making money on the internet might look like a scam to a lot of people, but I actually know so many 15, 16, 17, 18, 20-year-old kids who started one of these skills in college and actually made $1,000, even $10,000 a month within their first few months doing it. And I know that sounds hard to believe, but I'm going to explain the 7 skills and how that actually could make sense for you. So the first skill is something called clipping. Clipping is basically a concept where these big streamers or podcasters or YouTubers, they have these videos that are 10, 20, 30 minutes long, but they need them to get on TikTok. So instead of having to cut all of the content themselves and posting themselves, they just create a clipping campaign for $10,000 and they pay anybody $1 per 1,000 views that they get if you just take their long form content, cut it into short form, and actually post it on social media on your own accounts. So what's interesting here is that these campaigns are available to anybody, and anybody can do this. And so you just need to go to a platform called WAP and install the Content Rewards app, and you can see all of the different clipping campaigns. There's really famous creators like Drewski, Airrack, all of these different mainstream creators. You could do podcasts, you could do streamers, you could do YouTubers. They all offer these clipping campaigns to anybody, and there are teenagers literally making thousands of dollars, even a day sometimes, just clipping content because they know how to find viral moments, clip it into viral moments on short form, and post it. And so clipping is by far one of the fastest ways to start actually learning a skill of video editing and then actually start getting paid for it almost immediately because it's pretty easy to get 1,000 views even on a new account. So if you just focus on the actual skills of content of clipping, you're going to actually find success pretty quickly. So the next one is going to be TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop is kind of similar to clipping, but instead of getting paid for the views you generate, you're getting paid commissions for the sales you drive for brands. And so TikTok Shop, if you're unfamiliar, is basically kind of like Amazon, where you can buy any product, but instead of going to TikTok.com, you're doing it in the TikTok app, and the videos on the shop are videos created by actual creators. And so this is something that is very, very cool as well because these brands like supplement companies, sports equipment, and maybe they sell baseball bats, maybe they sell football gloves, whatever it is, they have these TikTok shop accounts and they pay anybody to make videos talking about their products. Sometimes they'll even send you the product for free to make the video. So this is really, really powerful because you're just going to make content all day. You get one glove or one supplement and you don't even have to show your face. You can just make videos of the product, and if you understand direct response marketing and you know how to make an appealing video and really show off the positives of the product, you're going to get a commission. And so that is a really, really powerful way to make money right now. And again, what's cool about this is because, yes, you can make $1,000, but there's no reason that if you get 10 million views, imagine how much money you can make there. You can make $3,000, $4,000 from a single video if done right. So it's not only is it like a really quick way to like start making content and potentially getting paid, but also the upside is just massive. So the next one is going to be YouTube content strategy, and this includes not only like what type of videos people should make, but also like their titles and thumbnails. If you can actually recommend, hey, if you want to gain an audience of this type of people, you should make videos like Airrack. Hey, if you want to make a business channel and get entrepreneurs to watch your content, you should make a channel like School of Hard Knocks. And this is how the content works. You go around, this is the format. You go around, you ask people questions, ask them how they made their money. And then once you do that, you have a thumbnail like this. And then you just have to pair them with a thumbnail designer. And so it's actually just, taking your years of experience of making YouTube content or at least watching YouTube content, I should say. Because if you've watched YouTube content, you're actually much more familiar with what works on the platform. And there's really big companies, really big brands, or everyday people even, that need your help coming up with new ideas and strategies. So if you're a creative person and you've watched a lot of YouTube content, being a YouTube content strategist is very, very likely to be a good paying skill because there's so many people that want to start YouTube channels nowadays, and more companies are actually starting them because they know that if they can gain an audience, that's going to turn a lot of people into customers for their business. And so you just consuming content in whatever category you consume content in, whether it's Counter-Strike, whether it's business, whether it's, knitting, the more you've watched, you actually understand what content gets views in that niche. So that's very, very important to understand. Is like your time in the game is valuable, because people that are just, just now starting out on YouTube, maybe they've been a business owner their whole life, but they haven't been watching YouTube their whole life like you have, they're not going to understand what makes a good video. They're not going to understand what makes a good intro. They're just not going to understand any of it. So that's a really important perspective to have when you're thinking about choosing a skill. It's like, what have you done naturally that gives you an unfair advantage in this skill business model? So that's really, really smart one to do, is YouTube content strategy, especially if you watch YouTube a lot. Now, moving on, let's talk about what I think is probably one of the best ones, but it will require some skill, and it will require some practice and a lot of learning, but hey, that's actually what makes it even more valuable. So the next one is actually going to be app design. So just like mobile apps or software design, just if you actually design what it looks like, right? So the developer is going to code the functionality of an app, where he actually makes everything possible, connects the back end, sets up the database, all that stuff. Where the front end, the design, is what it looks like. This is called UI or UX, and it's what the user experiences when you're clicking on an app. What color is the button? Where is the button placed? So the developer, the coder, chooses what the button does. You, as a designer, choose where the button goes, how big it is, and what color it is. And so there is an absolute art to this, and this is actually one of the biggest missing pieces in the job market right now. There are so many developers, especially with the rise of AI vibe coding, but there are so few people who actually understand what is good design. What does a good onboarding flow look like? How do people actually, when they go through this, where do they get confused or lost? How do I make this the most simple way for everyone who downloads this app to actually sign up and actually pay for the app? And so if you use a tool called Figma, you can design basically anything, but I like app design because it's probably the most valuable type of design you could do. Software companies raise millions of dollars from venture-backed VCs, and they raise money for their startup. And so if they've raised $2 million, well, they're absolutely going to pay you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 just to design their onboarding if you're really good. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to be that good to start. Even if you're just, designing apps for vibe coders, people that just learned how to code with AI like Cursor or Lovable, then that's just as good, because that's the biggest pain point. I don't know if you guys have seen this vibe coding stuff or have ever tried to start building AI apps, but the one thing that really sucks about it is the design. It's really cool because the functionality works. You can code a website, you can code a simple little app, you can code some pretty complex apps, but what gets really confusing is, how do you lay out the design? Where do you put the pricing page? Where do you create the onboarding flow? What should the onboarding flow be? And so that's something that you should really, really focus on if you want to learn a really valuable skill, is because it's a growing demand. Like, more and more people are choosing to build apps, and so that means more and more people are going to need a good app designer. And so if you learn Figma and you actually just go study onboarding flows on a website called Mobbin.com, that's Mobbin, you can see all of the designs of all of the biggest apps in the world. You can actually get pretty good at it pretty quickly and just start designing apps for all these vibe coders. So moving on to the fifth skill, and that's going to be AI video. So AI is obviously really, really cool, and a lot of people are worried it's going to take jobs, but I really just view AI as a tool to make your job or you better at your skill. So like, if you make videos, well, AI video is just going to make it easier for you to make videos. And since you understand what a good video is, you actually know how to use the tool better than anybody else. And that's actually a huge advantage, because you actually know what to look for. You know what makes a good video. That's like the hardest part for most people. It's not the fact that they know how to edit or that they know how to hit record on a camera. It's, do they know how to tell a good storytelling? Do they know what pacing and retention is? Do they actually understand the art of video? So AI video is one of these ones where, since it's just come out, these tools like Sora or Kling or, Flow by Google, they've made it so much easier to generate videos that if you just understand storytelling, or like you just have watched a lot of TikTok videos and you think you have a good idea for like what works and what makes a good video, then you're going to actually be able to have a huge advantage over people. And when you're actually doing this, because it's so new, like since the tool just came out, no one has actually learned about it yet, and you could be one of the first to learn this tool. I know a 22-year-old kid who picked up AI video right when it came out about 4 months ago, and he just got paid $30,000 by a brand to make a video for them to post on Twitter. And it was just 100% AI generated. He didn't have to go out and shoot the shots. He just generated them with prompts, and then he added some music and some sound effects, and then boom, he made a really cool video for them to announce their new product on Twitter. So he made a Twitter launch video for this brand, this company that wants to say, hey, we exist now, check us out, announcing this product we've been working on for a year. And what do you know, he targeted that same category of software products, software startups that want to actually announce their product. They raised $2 million, they spent a year building it, and they paid him $30,000 to make an AI video. But of course, it doesn't have to just be startup videos. It could be UGC videos that you're getting paid for by brands to post content about their brand. You can just make an UGC video. You can make a brand ad and run it as a meta ad. You could actually just make videos and use them as clips for clipping if the creator allows it. And so there's so many different ways to make money with AI video that's just such a valuable skill to learn. And I do not find it hard to think that you can make $1,000 per day or at least $10,000 a month if you just get really good at it really early, because you'll be one of the first people to do it. Like, imagine if you were one of the first people to pick up a camera when a new camera just came out that was able to make Hollywood level videos. Instead of when everyone was using film and all this old technology was really big and expensive, you just came on with your new digital camera. Everyone would want to work with you because you just have the new skill that can just do so much more, so much faster for way less money. And that, at the end of the day, is the name of the game. If you can learn the tools and become more efficient, you can do more work in less time. Therefore, you're going to be more affordable and make a better product. And that is an unfair advantage in business. Now, the next one is going to be something called funnel building. This is a pretty technical term. It might sound a little overwhelming, but think of a funnel like a website. But instead of a website, it's designed to actually turn people into customers. So everyone knows that, like, influencers and creators, they get all these views on social media and they make a lot of money. But what most people don't realize is what is the system to take someone from seeing your video on YouTube and going to your website and buying your product. Well, you'd actually be surprised. There's a few steps in between. It's not as simple as, okay, they see my videos and they buy. They actually see my videos. They go to the link in the description. Then they need to land on a single product. Once they land on that single product, well, do you want to upsell them more products? Probably, because if they're going to buy one product, they're more likely to buy 3. And so this is actually called a funnel. It's what order do you take customers in when they click on your link in the description. Most people think that they just go to one big website and the customer figures it out, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. So if you could just find a way to partner with a creator or an influencer who actually has a business and an audience, and then just set up their funnels and kind of be their growth operator on the back end, you would actually be able to make a lot of money almost out the gate, because they are actually the ones that already have the audience and the product, and you're just there to help them get more sales with that. And so you're building this thing called a sales funnel, where people go from clicking the link, going to the website, seeing the other products that exist, sending them email reminders to buy more products later down the line, and you're actually building the growth systems for their business. And so this is a little bit of a more technical one, but this is one of the most valuable skills in business you probably never heard of. And so if you just look up how to build a sales funnel or how to build a marketing funnel, you're going to realize there's a lot of money in this game. And this is how a lot of kids in their 20s have actually made their first few $100,000 online, because they just found the right creator. They learned the skill of building funnels. It's a lot of technical setup, like with N8N or Zapier, and building websites like Framer. But if you can learn those simple pieces, it's really, really valuable, because it saves the business owner a lot of time. It's not that they can't do it, it's just about saving them time since they're so busy making content. And so that goes into my last skill of the week that I want to talk about. If you're a student, or you're just looking for a way to make money online, doesn't really matter how old you are, this is a really, really good one, and it's tried and true. It's been around for a decade, but I really do think that learning how to run paid ads, whether that's through Facebook's paid ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads, just learning how to upload a video, write a good ad copy, like the words, the description that explains what the product is, and then set up the tracking so you connect the website to the actual ad account. That is a very, very valuable skill that you will never struggle to find people who need you to do it. It takes a lot of time. It's not that technical. It's very straightforward. I mean, think about it. The whole business model of Facebook and TikTok is running ads. And so they specifically make it as easy as possible for anybody to come on, upload an image or a video, and say, hey, I want to put $50, send this to people who you think would like this. And Facebook has gotten so good at sending ads to people that they think will be interested in it just by the actual copy alone. Like, if you make a video saying, buy my supplements, it's the best protein powder in the world, and that's what the video ad says, Facebook will automatically send it to people who've been looking up supplements on Facebook. So it's pretty insane. So if you can just learn, okay, how do I go to Facebook Ads Manager? How do I create my first ad account? How do I get a client to actually give me money to run the ads? okay, great. How do I get an ad made? I just go to AI, make an AI image talking about the brand. How do I upload that into Facebook? How do I connect the budget? How do I connect Facebook to my website so it tracks the sale, which is super easy. You just copy and paste a pixel. And then how do I just make sure that this is performing well and review the metrics? And just do that for 20 brands at once and you'll be making a lot of money. I mean, even doing that for 2 brands, you could easily make, for one brand could pay you $3,000 a month for doing this for them. And they're spending $50,000, $100,000 a month on ads. Of course, they're going to pay you a few $1,000s just to manage it and run it and report the performance because they are too busy. That's the whole point of why companies hire employees. They just want people that can do these tasks and they can be dependable, and they'll pay them for their time because they're saving everybody else time and actually driving sales for the business. So guys, those are the 7 skills that if I were starting today and I needed to make $1,000, I would go ahead and start. I think they're all going to be very future-proofed. I think AI is only going to make them better. And I think that if you just get obsessed with one of them over the next 3 to 6 months, there's no reason you can't make $1,000 a day doing it. Like, these skills are so in demand right now. They're so new, and AI makes them so much easier to do. And you can make such a better product that if you're just confident, you put yourself out there and stick to one, you're gonna succeed. And I want to make that so clear, guys. Like, it's not rocket science. Most people just sit here thinking about what business they're gonna start for a year. Or they think about, oh, what's the most valuable skill? Realistically, you just need to pick the one that sounds the most interesting to you and get going and just start trying and start getting experience under your belt. Start doing free work for people. Start having fun getting customers. And if you do that, I promise you will succeed, guys. So that's really my word of advice for you. Don't think about some complicated business you need to start. Just pick one skill. Go start playing around with it. Go do some free work for someone, anyone who will give you a chance. And then once you have some proof that you know what you're doing, go ahead and start charging for it. And I promise you, in 3 months, you'll look back and your life will be completely different, guys. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. And remember, free yourself.